Oh my goodness. I am beat. No, TikTok. Dangerous. I am tired, and the week is at most halfway over. So that's not a great sign if we're being real, but what you gonna do about it, you know? I'm gonna keep trying. I was just thinking about how I have to work tomorrow, work on stuff tomorrow. Obviously, I have to go to work tomorrow. I was like, what is it? I need to make the comic. If I don't get a comic out this week, I'll probably try not to stress about it too much. Just because I'm going to be dog sitting. And if I can't get it done by working tomorrow and Friday, then it's like whatever. But I still want to try, so. Yo! A rare promotional Cahill card? That's worth nothing! Basically worthless. Lord. I've gone looking at individual trading cards I want before, right? And obviously, so for one, when I've briefly peeked at Magic the Gathering before, you know, fucking, obviously most of those cards were $200, because of course they are. But like, when I went shopping for Yu-Gi-Oh cards at one point, there are plenty that I wanted based on like the decks I had made in the DS game, where they were like $1.70, and obviously like printing something on stock isn't necessarily like it doesn't require you to sell that for $1 million. And no one needs any excuse to pay more money right now for literally anything. But I don't know. I'm like, what's like the minimum you would pay for like a nice trading card of any kind? You know what I mean? I have achieved food. I love that for you stuff. I was gonna make my go-to dinner of fucking, what's it called? Of cheese quesadillas, grilled cheese tonight. Either or, interchangeable for me. But I realized we didn't have any bread for that, so oops, didn't happen. I ate a banana and some other stuff instead. Yeah. Open up my water as I drink. Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I need to go out, buy some healthy snacks. My parents are texting me about stuff. Love when that happens. Anyway, but yeah, get some healthy snacks. But I do not want to go out and spend the money. I'm trying to save a little bit. And sometimes that means not getting a whole stock load of food. Also, like, we had a problem in my house where we accidentally all kind of bought the similar groceries at the same time, so there's a hot minute where we were like, okay, no buying any food no matter what for a bit, so that's another reason. But how about we start drawing? Hanging out and drawing. I was very awake coming up. I am just remembering right now, I got at most 4 hours of sleep last night. Oops. So that's not gonna help. We're still gonna try and get stuff done though on this stream. Like, I feel bad, Stealth, right? Because I want to play Marvel Rivals with you and Pig when I see y'all doing that. But fucking, if I do that, I will not get sleep. I will not get sleep for work the next day, and then I will be in a large amount of pain. So I was surprised I managed to get through today, to be frank. But yeah, Is it, why is the entire canvas tilted 1 degrees? Oh my lord, oh my, I'm not even dignifying that with a response. So this is what we got going on for our for our card game. I worked on some of this on a previous stream, but now we'll work on making the a proper card for it. Yeah, here's the thing, I kind of wish I had a better symbol for, you know, that I do tend to prioritize Football Friday for such reasons. I'm trying to think of a better symbol. Let me see if I can toggle this. I don't have a great method of toggling these. I just have different layers. Nope, not that one. Actually, it is this one. So yeah, these are the different, you know, symbols for whether or not a card is good alignment or evil alignment. I need to close Steam right now. I do not actually understand why Steam is just constantly giving me the same notification over and over again. Anyway, I literally at work today, I was thinking, I was like, surely there's a better way to do this. I like the symbol for darkness, which is surely some part of some alphabet I do not know the specific name of in Yu-Gi-Oh! But I can't really do that because I'm not wild on just fucking taking letters I'm not familiar with and using them for those purposes. On top of the fact that in canon, these cards have their origins in ancient Sumeria or a culture connected to it and are printed in something connected to Germany. So, any symbols relating to basically Asia, Africa, Australia, America, any of that stuff? No, probably not. That'll just be taking it for no reason, which I don't feel good about. But yeah, so I'm just gonna start working on it right now. I do like, and we'll see if I want to change how the what was it thinking of? Also, I was working on this one too before stream. Let me actually do this because we already have a million layers here. So just put some layers there together as we start working on this. But yeah, like I like how the HUD, which is probably the frame would probably be more appropriate in TCG terms, came out. That I think is pretty good. I guess we'll see whether or not I'm 100% sold on how I'm doing the art style, which like is definitely meant to invoke the idea of carving something into a clay tablet. Like that's what we're going with here, you know. Whether or not this does that 100% well, yeah. The frame came out. I'm proud of them. Well, we haven't had a frame break yet. You know why? Because I haven't made any of the cards to begin with, and also no one is playing this game because I haven't made any of the cards. Yeah, I was thinking about that because I do like the idea of like, I literally saw a short recently about how Yu-Gi-Oh! Hasn't necessarily changed its presentation over the years, and honestly I'm kind of fine with that because I like Yu-Gi-Oh's presentation on how they print their cards and stuff. And while the occasional like full art card or what have you is neat, I do like what I'm going with here, which is, you know, like, I'm not pretending this isn't a card. Like, I'm very trying to purposely be like, you know, this is paper. The aesthetic is paper. Like, it's weird. I'm just not the biggest fan of when they're like, this is our trading card game. Here's one of the cards. It's just an entire painting. I'm like, the drawing is nice, but bring out a parrot. You got it, Kingfisher. That just doesn't speak to me. Doesn't grab me in the same way a Yu-Gi-Oh card does. And granted, wall of text isn't great, but besides that, yeah. Oh my Lord. So tired. Give me coffee. Give me a black coffee. Extra strong. Brown parrot. We love Tetranodon. Man, I will say this. So, getting to Monster Hunter as like a breakaway real quick. I just want to say, it saddens me. Capcom still hasn't fixed Wild PC performance issues. Yada yada yada. But having played through that game, Generations, and me neither stealth, but I've been busy doing stuff. It's not that I'll never go back to Wilds, definitely not that, but I'm busy at the moment. I'm busy at the moment. I'm very playing the single player games I'm trying to play through, so anyway, which include, well, no, I keep forgetting Dragon Quest isn't Capcom. Anyway, moving on. Before I get distracted from this literal already a tangent. But like, I played through like, having played through Generations, Wilds, and Rise recently. Rise is definitely like, I don't think it has very good pacing. It's got really fun combat and a lot of cool stuff to it. It's great on the Switch. But in terms of like going from a hunter that's starting out to, you know, solving issue of the week, it really just kind of sprints you through it. So, and that probably doesn't matter. Aging peanut brain, like, that's what I like. Credit to Wilds, because I remember seeing this. They have been like, no, we don't necessarily want to pile Elder Dragons on you out the gate. I would say they did. I think for like, granted, you have low rank to high rank, where in like the end of low rank you do big monster and it's like, oh, that's scary, and then you get into high rank and they're like, this will be tougher, get us mushrooms, you know. Like, that stuff. You haven't done certain fights, I see. I don't know. Well, I was talking about overall like campaign stuff, less than pacing of hunts, which they've definitely sped up. And I've spoken out against like Monster Hunter getting too streamlined before. Regardless, continuing from that, in terms of just like campaign, I don't want to say story, because then stealth will kill me. And I also don't mean story as in the writing. I just mean like literally as in like story mode, and going from the context of, again, of like fighting large duck to fighting planet-ending dragon. I think Wilds has some of the, not Wilds, Rise has some of the wildest pacing. Maybe you remembered not. I'm sorry. If it makes you feel any better, I didn't want you to remember that. So we are both in pain right now. But yeah, so if Wild is beating a few, if Wild is rising above a few things, see what I did there? It is at least that. But that's me. That's my little nitpicks. What was I thinking about? I was definitely talking about card games before. I don't know. I feel like one reason I'm doing this. I was gonna say trying to do this. I am trying, but I'm going to succeed. Cause here's the thing. I just feel like there's so many card games where like the default is like, let us make a realistic illustration of this concept. You know? Like it isn't, you know. It's just not. You got no flavor. There's only so many times I can see a beautiful painting before I'm tired of it. And I know my steak is too juicy, and my money is too abundant. I know. I'm complaining about good art, but listen. I mean, people have depiction of tandem, for example. That's where you're wrong, stuff. Old Yu-Gi-Oh had some of the funkiest art. Old Yu-Gi-Oh would put some stank on that. Nowadays I can't necessarily have them. I can't necessarily say they're doing much better than any of the competition. I feel like a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards these days are just anime. And I don't mean to say that so dismissively, because it's not like I don't like anime in general, like a good anime. But it's kind of a cookie cutter style. Same with a lot of Magic stuff. Obviously, Magic typically has like a wider array of things it's depicting with all the crossover it does. I'm saying that so bad because my nose is itchy. Every time when I start streaming, I'm going to rip off my nose. From the moment I understood the weakness of my Flash. But yeah, Magic has a wider variety of stuff, but they just, like, I don't know, does one person, I would be hard pressed to tell you whether or not multiple artists or one artist does all the work for the Magic cards. No, I know it's multiple artists. They let you submit. But it all just feels like it... Three-dimensionality in this collage to make it convincing. It helps to add some... Like, this is just a drop shadow. Drop shadows are always good for three-dimensionality. Have you considered drop a shadow? Drop me, I'm Shadow. This is also Gale Snake voice. But yeah, like, Magic has a wider variety, but I'm gonna look up Magic cards right now. MTG cards. Like, let me take a look at some of these bad boys as I'm gosh. Yeah, like, there are minor stylistic changes here and there. But I feel like a lot of them are going for the just kind of a realism. You know? They're not... None of them necessarily are just like, here's a wild style. This one's a little different. Creepy Doll. That's a little different. But yeah. I love seeing fan art of like a Yu-Gi-Oh! MTG crossover. So you got Blue Eyes White Dragon right here. Hell yeah. Yeah, say what you will. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is broken as hell. Especially old Yu-Gi-Oh! But definitely had more iconic cards, IMO. Exodia, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes. Carpet to make it work. Trust me, Kingfisher. Drop Shadow. Ugh. Itching ear too. Anyway. Continuing to move on. What was I thinking of? Yeah, so I really feel like the only, like, I don't know how we've done this before. And here's the thing: apparently Digimon's coming out with a digital version of their card game, and I'm about to hop on that train because I've not played a Digimon video game or the card game, and I'll give either a try at this point. So, but I will give it to Pokemon. If Pokemon's doing one thing okay right now, it's the TCG. They do their TCG work. They make the cards look great, and everyone's happy. So, and I haven't necessarily heard anyone talk about the Pokemon card game and be like, this this card is so broken it killed my entire family. Card's pretty, yeah. And me and Stealth have talked with a couple other friends too about just like, man, hey, Pokemon's not it right now, and I hate to always be on that, but I care. Here's the thing: I care. Right? But fucking, I hear from him and plenty of other people about the card game and the card game app. So, to be clear, it's kind of hard to fuck that up, you know? If you already have a good card game, keep hiring good artists. Don't use AI. That's one a bunch of people are seeming to fucking not bother with these days, but don't use AI. What else? Don't introduce a game-breaking mechanic in the actual card game. Yeah, I can believe that. But yeah, stylistically, no doubt, Pokemon has in the past and kind of continues to stand out in that they will allow their cards to have a wild style. So, yeah. Well, Yu-Gi-Oh's like that too. In many ways, Yu-Gi-Oh video games and Master Duel and what have you is kind of how the game was always meant to be played. Because here's what I'm saying. In the world, in the fiction of Yu-Gi-Oh, at all points in the anime, there's typically like a computer or something, which by which they are playing the game, and is, you know, projecting the holograms that are on the field. So any complicated interactions that need to happen between the cards, they happen through the computer real quick. Not so in real life, and definitely not in the 90s or early 2000s. So then you have a game which is filled with many complex interactions, thanks to its origins, that children have to think. I definitely said this on stream, I believe, of like, kids shouldn't be playing card games. The market for TCGs is not children. Never get it twisted. Because kids cannot read. And you need to do a lot of reading for really any card game. Fucking, I've seen some of the rules. I haven't seen. There's lots. Sure. Magic doesn't necessarily have as much obnoxious card text as Yu-Gi-Oh. I've seen some of those rule books. It does make the game better, I think. Question mark? I don't know. I don't play it, but I've seen that Magic can have like just about a rule for everything. It is very much, you know, thought out for the most part. So Which I literally think I was talking yesterday about, like, how when Magic started, they didn't have a way to test it. I forgot if this was on stream, which is how some of the cards, how some early cards became so busted. But, 'tis what 'tis. Maybe those early days are exactly why they now have a rule for everything. They said never again. They said we will not become our competition. Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! Is considered competition. Magic is kind of... I'd imagine Yu-Gi-Oh! Is definitely lower down on the ladder as far as a card game goes in the modern day. I think when an American dubbed anime was running it, it might have been popular on the schoolyard. But I was just saying all that stuff about Pokemon. And now and Magic's always dominating, so Yu-Gi-Oh's for just if you like Yu-Gi-Oh. Should you play Yu-Gi-Oh? Or do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? If you answered yes, play some Yu-Gi-Oh. Maybe consider playing some Yu-Gi-Oh. Ends in a draw. I literally had to look up. And it usually started because people wanted to play D&D on their lunch break, but it would take too long. That makes sense. Which also, you know, explains its very typical fantasy aesthetic, which I'm literally lamenting live on stream. Sorry, Magic players. I'm sure there's plenty of Magic players who are like, I like how the game looks, and you know what? You're right for that. I'm literally just complaining because I like wacky styles. Yeah, I like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. How could you tell? Bring this down a good bit. Also, I'm gonna do a funky fresh move, which I was considering doing before, but now I'm definitely doing. First off, get rid of that. We'll put that back later, but as of right now, I just don't super adore how it looks. Be a big shot. Be a big shot. That's your chance to be a big shot. Big shot. Y'all ever think about being a big shot? I think about it a lot. Oh my lord, they released Spamton boxers today. Fangamer released Spamton themed boxers on their website, and I would love those. But if you remember, I was talking about not having wanting to save money, even if that meant on things like groceries. And I might be stupid. But I'm not so stupid that I would refuse to buy myself snacks, but not buy but instead buy myself Spamton boxers. My stupidity only goes so far. And by so far, I mean I won't literally starve myself to death for its sake. Yeah, we'll merge these layers. Then we gotta do this. Yeah. Lord, I am dog sitting this weekend, and can I just say, I don't know if I've talked about this. I'm looking forward to it so much. When I dog sit for the people I dog sit, what that means is I let the dog outside, and that's all she wants to. This dog is so chill, very chill pupper. Love her to death. All right, I literally have a mug of her. They got me a mug of her, which is sitting on my desk right now. Okay, you with me so far? Love that gal. And just especially after a long week and a weekend and last weekend where I was running around a lot, not necessarily in a bad way, but I was still running around plenty, you know. Having a week where I'm just staying over an empty house, hanging with a chill dog sounds real cool. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I won't be like I was literally just talking to Stealth. I unfortunately will not be able to play Marvels while I'm there. Hello? Okay, cool. Not the button I meant to press. Merge selected layers. I really need those buttons. I mean, maybe I could customize the layout. I don't feel like doing that. Yeah, it's cool that that's a feature. And yeah, it means I could fix stuff I don't like if I so chose to. But fucking then I have to like watch tutorials on how to customize CSP menus. Oh lord. Do I need a new pen tip? It's kind of feeling that way. But has anyone here ever owned a watch? Like a non-digital watch? Has anyone here ever kept just talking about having to like manage CSP? What the Cahill doing? Val, you tell me. How's this looking so far? First card. I might change this text up here. Maybe I could use like more fancy old-timey text for that. But because definitely I wanted to use the same text up here as down here. But like, let me see. Let's see what we can do. There's minimum one funny medieval text option in default CSP, right? No way there isn't. There might not be. Yeah, no, it's not looking like it. Alright, well that will wait for later. When I can download it online. But yeah, we're working on that, Val. So I hope you like what you see so far. I feel like, Val, I feel like I've talked to you about card games before in a similar stream. I don't remember though whether or not you actively play card games. TCGs. Or not. But yeah, that's what we got going here. I do not. May I entice you in a simple to learn and play TCG, which doesn't exist yet. No money for cardboard. Well, that's the other thing I wanted to do with this card game. I don't know if I'll be able to get this out and popular in time enough that that like this is still an issue. But I was planning to make it so that any one pack of cards is not wildly expensive, you know? I mean, I guess scalpers exist, but like a pack of cards of this would cost like the same as a normal pack of playing cards. That would be my hope and desire. I am not I do not like to be greedy. Bum bum bum. Eyeball. Eyeball. You know, especially because this thing I'm working on right now is somewhat Tolkien inspired. Listen to a lot of Tolkien's like lore and everything during the while I think up stuff. And like one of the points of, I don't want to say contention, but like trivia when talking about the Lord of the Rings books. I'm so nerdy. Every time I talk about this, I feel like a big fucking nerd. Too bad, it's my stream. Anyway, is that Sauron has a body. Sauron is not a big eye. He has like a body. He has like a nasty body, which you don't see in the books, but it is confirmed he has a nasty body. Not a good kind of nasty, bad kind of nasty. He's gross, right? But that being said, you don't see him in the books, and he stays in his big fucking tower the entire time. So I see no reason why he can't also have a cool giant flaming eye while like body while he's hanging out in his fucking gross ass man cave. I do not fault Peter Jackson for that at all. I think if I'm not mistaken, there might not have been a million, like the Tolkien estate agreed on everything Jackson did, but I think if J.R.R. Tolkien, who I know basically nothing about, saw the Lord of the Rings film, he'd be like, fuck yeah! You see that cool flaming eye? I love that! If nothing else, it's just a good decoration for the Tower of Barad-dûr. So. Now I'm just thinking of random ass Lord of the Rings quotes, which then makes me think of random ass fucking Pirates of the Caribbean quotes I know. Sir, the rocks! It's a miracle she missed them! Oh, fuck yeah, flaming eye. This eye looks weird, so we're keeping it. I probably will want to add some like stony kind of detail on these at some point. Right now, though, less concerned with that. More concerned with... Check this out. I don't think... this is looking alright so far. Get rid of some of these bits. You know my problem right now? Pupil doesn't look good. That's really my big problem with this eye I got in here right now. It might help if I do this. That is pretty neat. And what if I even got crazy with it? No, I don't like that. What if I got crazier with it? Oh no, baby, that is looking no. Now I'm shopping at Target. I like that. Not gonna lie. I can fucks with it. That being said, I feel like I fucks with the... Not shopping at Target. Cahill, how could you? Yeah, I just feel like I'm not fuckings with this anymore. Select. Dun dun. 50. Yeah, that works. Actually. Here's what we're gonna do. Sometimes it's just that easy. Sometimes you're overthinking it. I see. Alright. I'm looking up wild stuff right now. Just getting the creative juices flowing. You know what? I could really just... I could do more with taking hallucinogenics. And then doing my art. Would serve me well. I do not recommend this. Lord. You know, if I could ask Jack Kirby one question, and to be clear, I love Jack Kirby's work. This is not coming from someone who just knows the name. I love his stuff. If I could ask him one thing, I'd probably ask him if he had been doing drugs. No judgment. Just, Mr. Kirby, your legacy in pop culture cannot be overstated. You are one of the greatest artists of your time. How high were you during the 60s and 70s? Just out of curiosity, out of a professional curiosity, to maybe try and replicate some things. Jack, listen. Again, this comes no judgment from me. I'm looking at some of your pages right now. This page has a bunch of lines made. What you've drawn here is outer space. Okay, Mr. Kirby? What you've drawn here before me, outer space. Got that part. I can see the stars. That's cool. Up there is maybe a strand of DNA. It's definitely some kind of double helix I don't recognize. In the other corner is what I can only describe as a jungle gym designed by MC Escher. And in the framed between them, in the middle of this composition, is a screaming face made of cosmic radiation. So, while this does take a lot of artistic skill to render, you definitely were high making it, so I just need to know what it was. I'm deadly curious. Also, hi, Paula. Also, the reason I took so long on that bit was because I was thinking of real things I've seen on Jack Kirby pages before, so do not get it twisted. Alright, not expand. Shrink. Alright, that works. Boom, boom. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Woo! I can't. My fucking family's gonna get mad at me. Did I hear you expressing joy down there? No, they're not like that. What if I just start screaming Sonic phrases? They're not going to be thrilled about that. Shocked as you might be. I got all my autism from my dad, and he left to get milk. So, like, no one else in this house is going to appreciate that. I no longer find Sonic the Hedgehog interesting. That's me quoting TikToks of a particular subject. Hey, can I just say, I was literally posting in Discord earlier with friends about just like sketching out this page, and I was like, hey, I'm not really feeling it. I don't know if this is good. I'm feeling this. This is coming together nice. So, if you don't mind me tooting my own horn a bit, I might be cooking. Right. So, let me talk some game stuff while I'm doing this, right? I've definitely talked a decent bit about this before on stream. But like, so the purpose of this game is to essentially use these cards, which range from the numbers 1 to 5, to amass a highest possible score over 4 spaces, which open up over the course of 4 turns. The highest, what's the thinking of? The highest score winning, yada yada yada. And just before the 4th turn, a card from one player's deck is placed down, which alters the rules in a certain way, right? So obviously that means the game is somewhat fast-paced. I was just thinking it might be good to have, a fast play, like in general, not even on like any kind of digital format, have a like fast play option where it's 1 round, but then also a like full match version where you do 3 rounds, and then after each round the cards you placed for that round are removed from the game, because there is a discard pile, but like those cards are just like taken out of play entirely. So the idea being that with each round you are burning through more and more cards, which what was I thinking of? Which might be winning you the game, but will not be able to be replayed later. So that was like a thing I was thinking about adding to this. I don't know how many people will be into it. I don't know if people are like, I want the game to be longer, I want it to be shorter. It could be either. I want to try and center this. Alrighty. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying stuff with this. I'm doing what I can. I'm literally just focusing on making this look good. To be 6 days requires sleep breaks in between. Now, is that specifically cricket you're referencing, Paula? Because you know, I've always known that cricket is meant to be like, people have referred to cricket as like kind of like baseball. But here's the thing. If a game of cricket lasts days, then I definitely like baseball more. I know nothing of cricket. I've heard that cricket matches can last days. That's what I've heard. Whether or not it is true, I do not know. I do not watch much cricket. Shocked as you might be to learn that. I'm not a big sports guy. I know you probably figured that out by the everything about me. People at work, like, granted, like, customers and stuff, but people at work do ask me, like, did you see the game? And I was like, not at all. Not remotely do I know what game you're talking about. There was a game? No, really. What was it a game of? Select shrink. That is perfect. Select invert. Yeah, I definitely think, I don't know, maybe I should try and make, okay, so like, in universe, one of the things I've got going on is that all the cards come from like a magical printing press. So doing the card titles in blocky Gothic lettering, a la a Gutenberg press, would be very appropriate, especially if it looks better. But also, that's pretty good. We gotta mess up these edges a bit. But yeah, but also, it's like, I want to make sure to, I don't want to, like, I found this, which like, this is like default type, but it doesn't look bad. And it's not like it's like, I was gonna say Comic Sans, but I just mean it's not like a font I think a lot of people would be like, oh, it's that font, you know? I don't think it's like necessarily wildly recognizable as one specific font from I don't know, default text files. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but maybe I'm just being hopeful. But what was I thinking of? But yeah, I mean, so that would be part of my problem in trying to change the title lettering, especially if I want it to be one of those old-timey looking fonts. It's not just readability, it's also making sure it's not just like someone looks at it and is like, I recognize that from from this text, this other typing thing I did. You know, this typing project. I have to type for it. I'm gonna go and get my typer's license. In my new dystopian future, you need a license to write. It's like you need one to drive. Sherry Everwood is turning 18. And even though she hasn't gotten her typer's license, she's gonna write. But who will her heart belong to at the end of this? Caucasian teenage boy or other Caucasian teenage boy? I am. Go on. So confused. Okay. So, give me 1 second, Val. Dun, dun. Okay, so Val, in 2008, Suzanne Collins wrote and published The Hunger Games, a book series taking place in a dystopian future in which a young girl is chosen to be the figurehead of a rebellion, and is, on a more personal level, caught in a love triangle between two boys she knows, right? Okay? This spawned a wave of copycat-like books where people were putting young teenagers in both love triangles and a dystopia, trying to, you know, ride the success of Hunger Games while people were still kind of hyper fixated on that. What I was attempting to do was parody my own version of that by making a dystopia where you aren't allowed to write inherently. You need a license to do so, except a young girl doesn't. Love triangle and a dystopia? I know, it's wild. That's why those books did well. They had pretty nutty concepts in them. They had pretty nutty professors in them. So yeah. I read the Hunger Games. I thought they were good, at least when I was young, and was just kind of reading for reading's sake. I definitely didn't care for the copycats though. That I did not need. Because, like, granted, I like tropes as much as the next person. I don't know if I want to... How are we feeling about this? Actually, I can also probably just... Give me 1 second. Let me get the spray thing out. But do we want, like, shattered edges on more of this? Or should we keep it a more kind of perfect, like, a more perfect square for the most part? What are y'all thinking? I mean, I can always change it later. I kind of like how it's looking so far, but this is what I was talking about with on yesterday's stream. Like, sometimes I am just talking to myself, and that's fine. I like the edges, same. So I think we leave them. Like, sometimes people are lurking, and that's chill. I have no problem with that. I like lurkers, What card? What card? I'd say go get your pot roast first, Paula, before you come help with cards. Pot roast important. Pot roast important for pot roast related activities. I've been watching Gokaiger, which is the Pirate Super Sentai series that came out. It was not really... They kind of used it for Power Rangers, but not really, right? You with me so far? And I have mixed feelings about it, because, like, on one hand, I think there's a lot of really cool stuff at its core, Like, at the basis of the series, there's some really good stuff they're doing. On the other hand, there's like a massive crossover between all previous Sentai, which I don't have a problem with because I haven't seen every Sentai show before this. I have a problem with it because they don't explain how all the Sentai come together when they kind of live in like different universes for the most part. But regardless, speaking of one of the episodes I recently watched was one they did with was them with the Ninja Storm Rangers, the Hurricanegers, whose aesthetic was used for Power Rangers Ninja Storm. And that was really cool, especially because like the Gokaiger's whole deal is that they already have the devices needed to turn into any ranger they feel like, right? They're just trying to get better at using them, so every now and then they gotta check in with old rangers. But in that episode, they did just give like the morphers back to the Ninja Storm Rangers. So then you just had 9 Power Rangers, 3 of whom were full-on veterans of the franchise, fucking it up. And you wanna know something? Like, this is what I'm talking about. It's like, I'm not totally opposed to it. Like, there's just some things I'm just like, this feels like a concept they're not willing to explore at the moment. But anyway, like, that was cool as hell. I will not lie. I was literally looking it up before stream, because like there is an article about, I guess, the kayfabe or what have you, the different canons of the Sentai, and part of it explains just like for the most part in their own series, they're just typically they are considered to be self-contained, not connected to other ones, which is further supported by the fact that with all the different dinosaur teams, there are like, I believe the article specifically said 6 different explanations for how the dinosaurs went extinct in the different series. So like I was saying, like, obviously they cannot all exist at the same time, because there were not 6 different generations of dinosaurs that went extinct. If there were, that would be tragic. I would be upset by that personally. Hello, it is us, the different writers of Power Rangers and Super Sentai. We have bred 6 different generations of dinosaurs, which we are all going to genocide. We're not. It's not because we hate the dinosaurs, but we just need them gone. Very upset. Very no good, icky, no good. Leave my friend the Brachiosaurus alone. Or I literally saw a TikTok like yesterday about someone being like, did pterodactyl exist? And they're like, yes and no. And like, part of it is because of the fact that, like, beyond the fact that obviously we get a clearer picture at fossils that were incomplete or like mixed up at one point, like, the full name of a dinosaur you would typically think of as a pterodactyl is actually called Pterodactylus, and that's its nickname. And I'm like, come on. So let me look this up. Pterodactyl. Wait. Dactylus. Yep. Actually, Google did fill it with Pterodactylus. Pterosaur. So yeah. It's like, you and your pedanticism, not to be confused with your pterodactylism. I don't think that's a word. I'm not planning to do this for every card. Have it go to like the broken edges and stuff. This one. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I think that works. I might. Oh wait, you have to do this. And then if I do it like, if I also add a blur, does that look good? Not really. It doesn't really give the effect I want. And I would say that giving it some, you know, transparency is good, but that doesn't do much either. I think I'm okay with this. I don't know. Maybe I'll end up having to come back and revisit the idea of how I depict these cards. But for right now, I think that's okay. What's that? We are going to throw this up here. And then I think that's good. And then what we can do, I'm gonna do something. I'm just gonna no, not that. Erase the sketch. And then add this sketch. Alrighty. So yeah, for this one, I'm gonna make another eyeball. That's gonna be a key eyeball, and I think it's gonna be cool. So just watch. Just watch. I don't know. I hope people like this stuff. The style of like card I make and yada da da da. I'm trying, man. I be trying. This is the wrong layer. Bum 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 bum. I do think I have to make this like shorter. Is the thing. I don't know if I like how wide this magical padlock is. None for me, thanks. No wide magical padlock for me. Thank you so much. Yeah, it works. Try to make this look good. It's a fun. I think it's a fun challenge to do when you're like just using black and white or just, you know, very contrasty stuff. You gotta make things look good without being able to use like shading and what have you. And I think that's neat. That's why I like working like this. But maybe that's just me. Who knows? Maybe I'm insane. Alright, I didn't start with that in the right place at all. Alright, that's fine. Is this still... That is not in the center anymore. Actually, if anything, let's erase this. Do it again. Yeah. Now it kind of looks like a camera, but listen. Cameras and padlocks are the same when you think about it. Did you think about it? You didn't get to the same conclusion I did? Yeah. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I'm afraid that might be the case. I was just about to talk about, like, the locks we used to have in my family and everything. In different places where, you know, we used to live or stay. And I was like, you want to know something? You know, Cahill. It's me, Cahill. I know we don't usually, we're not usually the brightest tool in the shed. But I don't think talking about the information of locks that our family has a history of using publicly on the internet would be a good thing to do. This is why they say think twice before you say anything, because you do not need to be giving out those kinds of clues to people. Those little Sherlock Holmes riddles. Bump 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 bum. Love Sonic CD. It's a good time. It's a good time running around. We'll see if Sonic 4 is good. Maybe, maybe not. Literally talking yesterday about them toning down the writing for Sonic Adventure 2. But if there's any, you know, Sonic game you're gonna tone down the narrative of, it's probably Adventure 2. Adventure 2 or Shadow the Hedgehog. Did Shadow use any, like, real guns in the movie? I'm pretty sure they have, like, real models of guns, or at least very close approximations to them in the game Shadow the Hedgehog. Your locks are safe no matter what you do. That is true. There is the whole, like, lock-picking lawyer and just that genre of videos where someone's like, hello, I am someone who knows even a little bit about locks and lock making. Observe as I shove this pen into a highly rated padlock and break it forever. And it's like, oh no. That is the exact model of lock I used to keep all my valuables in. Very disheartening. I should watch, because I've mostly just seen clips from that, right? I should watch more of those videos, because I was literally about to be like, do they, when someone makes a video like that, are they like, hey, listen, you know, these people aren't doing enough, or is the entire idea like this is just how you need to take more precaution, because locks just fucking can be a joke if you have a bit of know-how. I know the video about the single-sided jingler where it's like one lockpick tool. One lockpick tool you just kind of shove in there and it's like, well, there goes. Maybe it's from the same person, I don't know. Like I said before, I'm not very smart. You're a cool guy, Stealth Boy.
Huh?
I saw Stealth enter a different channel and I was like, friendship! Oh, a jagged milk carton. Damn. Yeah, that's what I'm talking. I really feel it, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, those videos are more showing off, like, knowledge to some degree than the specific tools being used. I don't think it's so much, this lock is so shit I can open it using, like, an egg. I think it's like, if you know how to work locks, you can fucking open any of them. We'll just see how hard it is to do some of that on today's episode. Wrong one. I said this before, loops are so hard to do. Just in drawing. Loops and curves, I feel like end up being harder than perfectly round circles. No, even smaller. You know what I was just thinking of? Remember I was talking about Gokaiger? I know, I'm the only one who cares. Anyway, but I was like, is there anything in the show itself that's like, well, that's weird, outside of the fact that if all rangers exist at once, then that means there's a lot of world-ending threats out there, which there are, but beyond that, but they had the Deca Rangers, the Rangers that would become Power Rangers SPD. They were in an early episode, and excuse me for my ignorance, but I feel like they take place on a very, like, just the setting of those Rangers, very different from the Earth that the Gokaigers land on, which is more stuff to have me just like, I don't I need more explanation. Happy to see Dog Chief again. But give me a bit more. You gotta tickle the balls a bit. Tickle them more. So I do think this is looking good so far. I feel bad because the last Link's Awakening streams, those were somewhat shorter than I would necessarily hope, but I don't know. This stream is going to be much longer than that because EB Sleepy. EB Deep, and he sleep on my deep. Doom doom. I want to add some shine to this by erasing part of it, but that's probably gonna have to wait a bit because I got more to do with it, and I don't necessarily want to immediately go off and fuck with the shape I've made. What? You know, I will say, as much as like the amount of crossovers in Gokaiger kind of have me like mixed reactions, I do love just how many Rangers across the Super Sentai series immediate reaction to our protagonist of this series being like, hey, help us use your equipment, is like, no, you're pirates. Space pirates, but that's not necessarily better. I'd actually prefer, all things considered, you give that back to us, because you know. Understandable reaction. Fun way to play with it. No doubt, no doubt. A lockpick video. Honestly, Paula, unironically, I would love that. Keeps me from finding lesser quality lockpick videos. Yeah. I've said it before, but I'll say it again on stream. Usually when someone's like, this link, I ask for DMs, just because if you put it in chat, it'll be harder for me to find. Like, if it's specifically, Cahill, watch this, it's like, well, I'm streaming right now. But then also, if I want to watch it later, best in Discord somewhere. So I appreciate that, Paula. It's weird. I could... I don't know. I feel like so often I compare myself to... when I'm looking at, like, other streams, I'm looking at streamers who are just streamers, which, obviously they're kind of able to stream a bit longer, because that's all they're doing, but also I could do longer streams. I do wonder if just watching random videos on the internet, I've seen there's plenty of streams where it's just like, we're just watching funny videos today. Hello, internet. This is game theory. That's not it. Hello, this is your daily dose of internet. Internet, hello, this is your daily dose of you. This is why I didn't get hired for that show. Hi, websites. It's me, the internet. I'm here to dose you up. I've got a dose of something, and the only people I can give it to are the internet. Can't stress enough, I didn't get that job. I don't know why. I can't say for certain. I have my suspicions, but... my agent told me not to worry about it. That show wasn't going anywhere anyway. You know, I was talking about nerd shit earlier with Lord of the Rings. I feel like I should watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. And here's the thing. When I say that, I do just mean Next Generation. I'm sure there's lots of good Star Trek shows. I just want to watch Next Generation. Mostly because Patrick Stewart is a treasure. So. And I always see the bloopers. And they look funny. Get rid of that one. This one is off as well. I felt pretty good about that when I drew it, but I was mistaken. I was mistaken. God damn. Oh, this isn't the ones I was thinking of, but I will check it out, Paula. It concerns me, because the lockpicking videos I was thinking of are people at like a workbench, you know, like opening up the lock from the packaging from the store and using lockpicks and stuff. The thumbnail of the video Paula has sent me has a guy outside, which immediately has me very concerned. Hey, internet, today I'm gonna see whose houses I can break into. Don't worry, I'm being super safe. Hey, internet, give me your teeth. I'm being super safe with this. I am wearing my sunscreen. Like, that's... Oh, that's the wrong number. Oh, so this looks good. Wrong tool. But it's just very funny. I was expecting to see a professional on a bench. Paula has sent me a man, who I'm sure is also professional, but is definitely not on a bench. He is spokesman for the lock company. Oh, okay. Okay, that's better. That's so much better. Because that's all I was pointing out. Is that I feel like lock picking on the go. That might be the person I'm thinking of, but yeah, lock picking on the go. Yeah, cool. There was that thing. This was not necessarily big news, nor should it have been, because there's lots of stuff going on recently that people should be paying more attention to. Also, by the way, if you're going to the second No Kings protest, make sure to be safe and consider covering up. But anyway, what was I just thinking of? Alright, there's like a thing where apparently Americans who were traveling were consistently running into European not lockpickers. Kind of same vein. Pocket pickers. Is that pickpockets? There we go. And then what the Americans would do is beat them in gruesome fashion. In very gruesome fashion, apparently. Like, it was a problem more for the countries and the pickpockets than it was for the Americans. And on one hand, like, I don't think people should just be cool with pickpockets. On the other hand, I saw some people would be like, yeah, why would you let someone steal from you? Yada, yada. It's like, I don't think that's the problem. I don't think people in Europe are saying that pickpocketing is cool and you should let people steal from you. What they might be saying, and this is just a guess, is that violently assaulting people is not necessarily the most measured response to that particular slight against your person, you know? And I definitely, in general, despite persona I put on during stream and playing games, I'm definitely the type of person who'd be like, no, violence should really just be a last resort kind of thing. And while I get the panic of someone trying to steal from you while you're traveling, I can also understand the panic of the people who live there as they see you get into a street fight, and I do mean like in Street Fighter, where you're throwing cars at people. So. But, you know, I haven't experienced that. Either side of it, I have not experienced. So really only so much insight I can give. Turn it up, get down. Boom. Wrong act. Who doesn't love Stardust Speedway? Wrong people? That too. Do. Alright, this. Yeah, I really don't have much thoughts regarding this week, other than I'm like, oh my lord, I don't want an update on this. Anyway, other than I am like literally just trying to survive tomorrow and Friday so that I can get to the weekend, hang out with some friends, hang out with a dog. Y'all know how it is. I do wish I was hanging out with Oswald more. Hello! You come up to say hi. Did you feel I was about to talk to you? And you said, let me come see what he's doing. No, you like head rubs, don't you? Little head rubs. There you go. Yeah? Would you like more head rubs? You would. Here isn't also outside. Yeah. Yeah, I will say, of snacks I have bought recently, caffeine was in most of them. My family gets what I need to talk to them about it, because my family's like, you drink so much caffeine. The stuff I drink is basically just tea, like black tea. I have a couple cups of black tea a day, and that is my caffeine content, because otherwise I am a very, very sleepy person, and the world does not appreciate sleepy people. So I don't think there's too much can be done for that. Oh my goodness. Are you also sleepy, Oswald? Yeah. You're a little sleepy guy. Oh my goodness. Look at you go. Look at you go. Yeah. Yeah, Oswald. If y'all don't know what bunny binkying is, which you probably do if you know any bit about rabbits. It's cute. Oswald, you're a cutie pie. I do not know I do not know how complicated this image would be to carve into stone. To kind of impress it to stone. But, well, clay. To be clear, I don't want the idea that take a solid piece of granite, stamp this on. Oswald redeemed. He got sick, so I was literally thinking about that, Paula. I might bring that back. It's just that he got sick, and I took it off because I didn't want to stress him out at all. So we might bring that back if people would use it. The other thing I want to do, which I haven't bothered. I was gonna say gotten a chance to. I could like set it up before stream at one point. I like the idea of maybe having a what's it called? A redeem to raise a Jolly Roger. So in one of the upper corners of the of the stream frame, we can get a pirate flag going, various different pirate flags. I think that might be cool. Of redeems I've made, Greg likes using the Haunted Mansion one, but people seem to like the parrots, shanties and stuff, so. But yeah. Yeah, I in no way try to use Oswald as like a content shortcut. Not that I'm necessarily inferring anyone who posts videos about their animals is doing that. I can also completely understand I love this thing so much that all I can do is take photos and videos of it, and I need to share it with the world. Like that's also understandable, but I don't want my bunny being stressed, so I don't go around pointing a camera in his face. But we might bring that back. Just because he's doing fine nowadays. Take care of your pets, guys. I could take out, like, I wish I could take. I take Oswald out when I'm home, but he has to stay in his crate, which is like, it's a good size. Just because my family doesn't like him wandering around, but hopefully I'm getting an apartment soon, and then I can have him be a free roam rabbit. Far more. Free roam rabbit, which I'm worried I might have to hide from my landlords. But listen, we figure that out. I feel like that's considerably easier than hiding it from your parents. From my understanding, landlords don't tend to live with you and constantly come into your room every single day. Sometimes, but not every single day, like parents will. That paints a bad picture of my parents. Like, there are those parents out there who are like, I took the door off my child's room. And it's like, hey, that's gross. I just mean doing things like being like, hey kid, what's up? You want meatloaf for dinner? It's hard to hide a rabbit from someone while they ask you if you want meatloaf for dinner. Historically that is hard. Yeah. So this is literally just the card is just going to be called Magical Lock, right? And I do like this image I've made. I'm probably gonna have lightning bolts coming off it. This image I conjured up of like Locke has an eyeball and the key is just kind of poking it in the eye, which is nasty, but it's evocative. So bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I don't know. I'll probably I might tweak these a bit off stream and then post like the two we worked on here, and then I'm not necessarily ending soon, I'm just saying in general tweak them off stream and then post the two we've worked on with maybe one other or so to different places and see if people like them in general before I make like 100 cards with this specific aesthetic. I don't know if I would like doing that and then people being like, I fucking hate how this looks. What is wrong with you? You like this? That's gross, dude. That's after a beep. Oh, wrong one. I was gonna say, because like modern keys, I believe they have it so like the channel goes like this. And then the teeth are what's doing the unlocking, but channel keeps everything in place. I'm gonna keep polishing this up. You know what? What if we do just like I was literally doing this on the lock, so I don't know why I can't do it here. Works for me. Wrong. That's the wrong one again. Message after the beat. I love crunchy vocal samples. That's my jam. That's my jelly jam. Hell yeah. That's pretty good. I can do this a bit better though. Yep. That's exactly what I thought was wrong. It's just not quite the specific angle. There we go. Got 55. No. That's Wall. Are you getting comfy back there? He's just kind of hanging out on the bed and peeking over the edge as he's laid out. What a cutie pie. I think I had mentioned on stream, it's like, if I had to get rid of Oswald to move in place, I'd be so wildly sad. It's not like, it's a thought I do have to have if I want to get any kind of apartment ever, but to say I wouldn't be doing well after that would be an understatement. Alright. We're gonna wrap it up a little early. Just because, like I said, not a lot of sleep. Last stream of the week. And also, on our... Oh, wait. I should probably combine these. But yeah, like, I think this is actually looking pretty... These cards have the same power and attributes, by the way, which is one reason I was working on both of them here. But yeah, you got this. You got this. I think it's looking pretty good. I definitely feel like changing this text would be for the best. To more fancy text, I think, would probably benefit me. Make it look better. But yeah. So, if nothing else, even if it's a slightly shorter stream, which is like, so the last few, so the last two, I am happy with the work we were able to do on this stream. So, if nothing else, I'm glad about that. Also, let's see, Gam hasn't been going, well, Gam has been going for about as long as I have, but he's probably going a good bit longer, so I say we raid him as he's working on art. Been a while since I've raided a Gam. Oswald was making noise. Not a typical bunny activity is making noise. So, I'm like, you okay? But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. I hope you had a good time watching me do some weird old, my tab crashed, okay. Making some card art. I had a good time. Dun, 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 dun. Anytime, Val. I hope you had a good time hanging out for it. I gotta press the raid command when the when my tab isn't crashing. That would be great. Yeah, we will be back next week. I kind of doubt we'll be able to get Link's Awakening done in one more stream. That is going to be my goal. So if nothing else, hopefully we'll get back to doing slightly longer streams next week with that. Really be like, okay, go for all these. And then some more art for Arttober after that. So I hope y'all look forward to it. You know, more, probably some more card art. Maybe working on the comic a bit. I do like doing that. But yeah, I will see y'all then. Have a good one. Bye.